Okay, so continuing on with our comma rules, we are moving on to appositives. So this is rule number 6. So in our notes, please make sure that you're highlighting still and copying down our examples as we move along after each video and after each slide. So for rule number 6, appositives. Appositives are going to be a noun, and it usually is going to include a modifier that identifies or renames the noun that it follows. So as you can see from my example, it says, Miss Renfro, your language arts teacher, loves Cleveland sports. So my noun is Miss Renfro, and then I'm going to give you more information, including a noun and a modifier, following it directly. So Miss Renfro, your language arts teacher, that's going to be the modifier, that's going to be the noun renaming Miss Renfro. Okay, so kind of like a predicate noun almost, how it renames your subject. That's what you're going to see here. However, there's going to be additional modifiers to give you more information, and it's going to be contained by 2 commas. Okay, so you'll see that here. And typically you'll always have 2 commas kind of segmenting it or separating it from the rest of the sentence. Okay, so I want you to think of your own example in addition to writing down the example here. So you should write down in your box, Miss Renfro, your language arts teacher, loves Cleveland sports, highlighting your 2 commas, and then labeling your proof by writing a positive in parentheses above each of your commas. Okay, and then you need to come up with your own example. Try to think of nouns that you can do. So you could think of yourself, you could think of your family, and think of ways that you can modify it or describe it to rename them that gives them additional information. Okay. Rule number 7 is the direct address. Now, this isn't going to be an address like a location. This is going to be like addressing someone. Okay. So this is going to be around a person's name who is being spoken directly to. Okay, so whoever you're addressing. Not an address, but whoever you're addressing. So it says here, Miss Renfro, have you always been this cool? Now, your direct address is going to be to Miss Renfro. Okay, you're addressing Miss Renfro. That's who you're talking to. Therefore, you're going to put a comma to separate whoever it is that you're directly speaking to. In my second example, it says, yes, children, I have always been this cool. So now this person is going to be addressing the children, so that's going to be contained between 2 commas. Okay, kind of like how our positive was contained between 2. So whenever you're speaking directly to someone, or they're being mentioned, you will use a comma to separate it from the rest of your sentence. And then rule number 8 is going to have to deal with coordinate adjectives. Okay, so what this basically means is that you have 2 adjectives describing the same noun. So as you can see below, it says, the happy, lively spider quickly chased Miss Renfro around the room. So I have 2 adjectives, happy and lively. Now if you have 2 adjectives and you're unsure of whether or not to use a comma, use this test. First, if you can place the word and between the 2 adjectives, then you're probably going to be in pretty good order. Okay, so the happy and lively spider quickly chased Miss Renfro around the room. That makes sense, so that passes my first test. Your second test is to reverse the order of the adjectives. So if I were to say, the lively, happy spider quickly chased Miss Renfro around the room, it still makes sense. Therefore, I can put my adjective, I can put my comma, those are coordinate adjectives. Okay, so my proof, 2 adjectives, therefore they're coordinate adjectives. I'm going to put a comma between them. Okay, so write these down into your notes and see if you can think of 2 adjectives, and rather than putting and between them, use a comma to separate them. Okay, what I want you to do next is go ahead and hit the next button for your blend space. You're going to watch 3 different videos covering our 3 different rules we just talked about. Don't forget to write down your examples in the column, as many as you can find in each video.